Ascension Pioneers, and welcome to a very wet report again. You know, it's still very rainy and misty here in Slovenia, and I've just learned to really love this, to really love even this weather, because in the past I didn't love so much the gloomy, the wet, and I don't know, you know, when you really start to live from within, you know, your inner magic will find things and spaces. Is just cool. So recently a few individuals noticed my devotion into recording in all in all weather conditions, which to me was pretty awesome, because I'm like, yeah, that's me. Always finding new spots, like a little goat, like a little weatherman. So today I really want to talk about this aspect, you know, about the aspect of really being grateful and gratitude in the new, which is beyond just being grateful for something. You know, when they teach us, be grateful for every single thing that you receive, and you know, be open to this receptivity. But real gratitude, I've been really integrating it for the past few days, even weeks, of course, in this recent development. And this real gratitude is not about being grateful for something we receive. It's about being grateful to be able to serve. What we receive might assist us on that journey, and it's just a part of it. And I'll share my story, my example with you, as I was left to inspire you on your own journey. But before I do, I really wish to say a bit more about this and how it flows when we really are in a state of higher expression of gratitude. So sometimes we receive something and we manifest something, or somebody gifts us something. We say, wow, I'm so grateful for that. But I've noticed when, for example, when we physically receive an item, you know, let's say you receive a gift from somebody and it really makes you feel joy in that moment and you feel immense gratitude. And then something happens along the lines during your day, even the week, and you get grumpy again. There's something bothering you again. There's something triggering you again. There's something coming up. And you can't stay in that state that you were able to feel when you received that gift. And I often notice this, and I was observing some dynamics when I observed my mother this week, and how, because it was a very intense week, we had a lot of Scorpio energy and all these alignments now. We're in a huge cosmic cycle, and Neptune is going back direct. This is today, as I'm recording, and there was just such immense energy that wanted to come to the surface being expressed, and this is spiritual love, you know, the spiritual love and deep gratitude and deep reverence to be in service to all life and creation. So what I've been noticing when these things were starting to come up was that a lot of times individuals, we don't like to, we just can't feel the gratitude all the time. Let's say you receive something and you're so incredibly grateful at that time. And I remember reading a gratitude list on Facebook from somebody, and it was so physical. I'm grateful for my internet, this and this and that, and it's fine. You know, these are physical aspects. But I so rarely notice people say, I'm so grateful to be able to be alive right now, to be of service. I mean, there's people saying that, of course, but this is what I'm grateful for most of all. Any single thing that I receive physically, and I'm so enjoying that moment. It's just a part of the purpose that I came here to share, and everything is in alignment with that greater purpose. So if I can't keep the energy high, if I'm only able to feel that higher state of elevation and vibration in that moment, it's momentary gratitude. It's not real gratitude in our ascended state. So gratitude in our ascended state is that, let's say you're not receiving money flow at this time. Let's say you work alone, you're self-employed, and sometimes you know how it is when you're working your own magic. Sometimes you have great abundance currents coming in your life. Sometimes there's just like this, you know, it's like lunar cycles. You know, it's like void moons and there's full moons, and it's exchanging, and this is also in our own life. So when you fully live in oneness with nature, you're going to be one with these cycles, and a lot of times you're going to feel this way because it's natural. It's not natural to just continue to grab, you know, to hold of the things in our lives. It's just to be transparent, and sometimes we're in the void, and sometimes we're really receptive and we receive a lot, and sometimes we're more in the giving, and at that time when we're giving it out, we're not seeing so much receptivity. We're just in that mode, you know, feminine, masculine, always playing out that balance. But I've noticed that so many times we can't maintain that elevation state. Something happens during our day, or you know, whatever it is, and we quickly forget about that, you know. And you know, each gift when it's new, it's so wow, you know, or in that moment you're grateful for something physical. But when you can transcend even that, it's a step. It's a stepping stone. You know what the people like to say, the attitude of gratitude. That's right. But real gratitude is not about attitude, because our attitudes are constantly shifting. So sometimes we're going to be in that joyful state and we're going to feel gratitude for all that we're receiving. But when we're not, when we're in those void cycles, a lot of times I notice people get grumpy, they lose their faith, they lose their sense of trust, they feel misguided just because they're in the natural state when they're in the mode of receiving from the divine, not receiving materially. That's a difference. So usually what I notice for myself when I'm in this higher spirit flow, it's I receive from the divine, I channel it forth, I utilize it, I pillar it out, and then I receive back in a physical form. And that, what I receive back in the physical form, only sustains my physical purpose, sustains my physicality. And as my physicality can be strongly built, then my spirit connection will grow. It's connected, it's all one. So a lot of times I still notice people separating this. They say, oh, this is my spiritual life, this is soul-based, this is flesh, this is matter, this is material. Forget about that. In Ascension, that's not true. You know, we're merging it. Our paths are no longer, well, this is my spiritual, this is what I do in meditation, and this and that, and this is how I experience my material life. In true deep sense of being in service and feeling that gratitude and always living in that state, it's all one. You know, you're it. And what I recently noticed is there was a lot of integration, more of our personalized self coming through. And lately I was guided on my personal Facebook profile to share more of myself, meaning my personal human self, which is not separate. It's all one. It's my purpose. But, you know, just sharing more of the things that personally resonate with me and that I love, you know, what I love in music or dance, you know, movies, things like that really fire up the human in me. And the human in me needs to be feeling great and blissful and joyful, because it connects to spirit more when it's in that state, when in a state of highest frequency. You know, when we're in our ascended selves, it doesn't mean we're just in meditation and we're boring and lifeless and nothing changes and it's all static. It's not true. It's constant evolution and expansion, and in that state, the gratitude really matters, because with gratitude, receptivity will be open up more. So a lot of times we talk about this female-male balancing out of polarities, but without a state of gratitude, not an attitude of gratitude, but a real state of gratitude in the new ascending self, it's going to be beyond. It's going to be beyond just what you receive and what you can give. It's not just being grateful that you have so much to share, you share it out, because when you don't, when you're in that void again, you feel like sometimes people feel without direction. You know, I've experienced this in the past. I felt, even now when my computer was taken away, I felt, wow, I have nothing to share. I can't have purpose now. That's not true. It was just a part of my phase when I was more in retrograde mode in my own personal cycle, and I felt gratitude that Spirit was able to provide that, because I really, afterwards, I saw how much I needed it. And with each thing, when we're in a state of gratitude, not just the attitude of gratitude, but in a state of gratitude, we can feel that, and we can feel beyond just what we perceive with our limited human brain sometimes still. And we will be able not just to be grateful to receive something, let's say the gift, but because we're going to maintain that frequency, we're going to see beyond what that gift brought to us, how it corresponded together, how everything is linked together. And when we work in that cooperation, and when you're grateful not just for yourself and your own purpose, but you know that it triggers other people's purposes, and it activates, and we activate each other. And I've recently said this to my mother. I said, when I'm in wholeness and well-being, you are as well, because we're like two cells in one gigantic organism, the divine logic, divine intelligence. And the moment we're going to become that, we're going to be pure benevolence, and this is how benevolence acts. So the thing with this is, wow, a branch just moved. That's amazing, because there's no birds here. Wow, invisible forces working here. It's amazing. The thing is that when we're in that state, we're going to see that when another benefits, we benefit as well, because we're connected. And we have a greater prosperity together. It's just about thriving. And we can do that if we can just maintain an attitude, but then we fall in vibration again and again, and it's just interchanges. Because we're always going to be up and down, up and down. We want to maintain this. We want it to become our wholesome reality and to live that wholesome life. You know, Ascension is not just to, like I say, have a soul-based rich life, but then in the physical you don't feel like it mirrors that. That's what Ascension is, to master your spirit in matter. This is an opportunity how to really know of our co-creator abilities. In the next video, next week, we're going to be talking more about our creation self. And I'm going to invoke the Seraphim, and we're going to work with that frequency. I'm hoping to bring some of it forth for all of us to have this as a short transmission. But for now, I want to really put that out because we need to integrate that first in order to feel that. For me, the greatest gratitude is to be provided with all so I can serve, not what I can have my personal self from it. Because for me, it's never been about that. If it's about that, I lose interest. It's boring for me. I need to feel that connection, that it's all intertwined, and I do. The moment when we're in that beautiful state of gratitude, which is an awareness. It's a state of being in awareness. So I'm going to share with you one example and how this is really important when you do that from the heart, when you are in heart flow and you trust, because without faith, there's nothing. You know, I said this many times, you can be so joyful and grateful when you're in this receptivity mode, but when there's a void mode, you feel lost sometimes and you feel, wow, you know, I need to reach something like a goal, I need to do something, and you can't embrace that. This needs to be embraced. Feminine polarities merging with the masculine polarities as one. So when it comes from the heart in purity, in benevolence, it's going to be so much what we really are in truth. We're so much more than we think we are. And when our awareness is going to start rising, we're going to be that in matter. It's not going to just be thinking what we can be. We're going to become it. So I have an example here to share. As you know, I was in the need to get a new computer, which was obvious because the old one was without a sense, you know, to be repaired. It was just too damaged, and it didn't pay off. So I knew that I needed it, and I just put on Facebook. I didn't even expect anything. I just shared with my divine companions that if anybody, you know, just feels my story, you know, if they feel like they benefit from what I share unconditionally, you know, they can support me in that. And I didn't even expect anything, and that day it was like boom, 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 you know. I saw just how much I was supported. I didn't even think about it. I didn't think now I want to receive donations. I didn't even think about it. I just put out there, something guided me. And because of that spontaneity and that flow, because I was in a gratitude mode, I just knew that if it's meant to be, it's always going to be, because it's for the purpose. You know, the only way I use technology is for the purpose, to keep that across, to share what I need to share. And the thing is that everything worked out, and thanks to all of you who donated and everybody else who supports me in spirit in this purpose, that now I'm going to be able to buy a new computer. It's going to take a while for me to adjust, but state of gratitude. It's all how it needs to be. And the greatest comment that I received this week from somebody, I really, really loved that. It made me laugh. It was so cool. Somebody said, you know, in the end, you'll be happy that your old computer broke down because you're going to so love this new one, and you're going to be happy that this took place. And I'm like, exactly, that's how it is. But it doesn't just have to be on and off. It needs to become a state of gratitude, because I see sometimes people are not humble enough. They're not grateful. Sometimes I experience somebody asks me a question and I give them this long response. I never get back from them even a thank you or, you know, anything. Sometimes people just ask, you reply, you respond, and there's nothing. There's no this exchanging humility and respect. And I don't really mind, but I notice this. It's still happening. Can we be humble enough? Can we be in that mode? We're constantly in exchange with the whole universe, with all of life. There's so much. There's so much richness. And the only reason why we feel lack is because our own heart is not expanded enough. And sometimes we still get grumpy and moody, and all of this is because it's the egoic senses telling us there's something wrong and we're resisting something. And we can't see, with the higher heart. So this is how it is. And then later I saw that I also really feel called to expand, and you know, I share my art. I don't just do it for physically, but there's a lot of frequency emanating from there, from realms of illuminated truth when I do my art. And the thing is that my old camera is just bad quality, and I can't put my art so much in high resonance. You know, it doesn't capture it as it is. It doesn't come out, it comes out a bit distorted if the camera is not good. And I always wanted to have a DSLR. I don't even know how you say it, really, honestly. And I always wanted to have the camera. I went to graphic college, I remember, and everybody had those cameras. I never had one. I was like, oh, maybe one time when I'm older. And now I realize that it's time to get that as well. And you know, the only way that I can get towards that, because they're really expensive, these cameras, is to just stay in that attitude, just to stay in that state of gratitude, and to know if something is meant to come, it will come, without us needing to attach to it. You know, this week somebody asked me, they donated to my cause, and then they said, I want to donate more, but can you please tell me how much? I said, I can't do that. I said, this is influencing you. I don't want to. Benevolence never influences somebody. It tells them what to do, because humans, we, the new humans, we need to learn to be in integrity from our own heart. We need to discern with our own hearts. I'm moving a little beyond the gratitude now, but this is all in one package, because nothing is separate from each other, okay? So it's really important that when you know, when you give without that attachment to it or conditionality, you can receive so much more. A lot of times I notice we see a certain source, and we're so focused only on that source that we can't feel gratitude for all that surrounds us, and we won't see other options. And we want that. And maybe the whole, the greater perspective of who we are, you know, the parts of us that are more seeing and more knowing, know what is best. And we can see, because we're stopping that flow. We don't have that gratitude, we just have that attachment to something. So it's really important, you know, be humble. Stay in that state when you at least donate your energy with a thank you, with kindness, with respect, with showing these higher qualities of a new human being, okay? So I'm reaching out to you as always from our sacred space. I hope it didn't get too dark, because it's already, you know, the day is coming to an end. I'm sending you big hugs as always. So much love, wisdom, and power, and I'll talk to you soon, okay? Take care. Bye-bye. Look what I found. I eat them raw. So good.